Hi, I'm Penny and welcome to Super Gaming News. So while there's not a whole lot of gaming news to discuss today, I was browsing online and couldn't find a huge amount of stuff to talk about. I did find 3 pieces of news that I did want to share with you guys. The first one being that Rockstar have released a video nearly 5 minutes long featuring gameplay from the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 5. The gameplay video also features narration which does go into detail into a few things, including the 3 main protagonists and the way that you can switch between those 3 even on the same mission, things to do between missions, game mechanics, new minigames like golfing and diving, and just a whole bunch of information about the game. One thing we didn't get to see was online play, but they did announce they'll be showing a new video featuring online play at some point in the future. One thing that I found really exciting watching the gameplay video is the way that players now have a choice as to how they proceed on missions and things like that. They have way more control over what the protagonists do. It's not like, here's a mission and go and do it. It's like, here's a mission, you can proceed in a number of different ways. Depending on what you feel is best, you can then continue with the mission in that way. And then even with the mission earnings, like the money that you receive, you can decide how you as your gang of 3 will spend that money and what it will go towards, be it things that are useful to you like cars, or things like tattoos and shiny new clothes. For me, it will undoubtedly be things like stupid car customizations, ridiculous tattoos, shiny new tuxedos and things like that, because I just am not a good budgeter at monies. If you're interested in seeing the full video for yourself, go ahead and click on the annotation on screen and it will take you to Rockstar's channel to view the full video. Next up is not a massive piece of news, it's just something that I was actually linked to earlier by a friend and found it kind of funny, so I thought I would just go ahead and let you guys know about it. Announced at Anime Expo 2013 this past weekend, a JRPG called Holy Sorcery Story will be releasing on PlayStation Vita in North America. Holy Sorcery Story comes to us from the creators of Hyperdimension Neptunia, a series of JRPGs on PlayStation 3. If you have played those games, they were a kind of generic dungeon crawler JRPG, but they were kind of funny being based around the console wars and having a lot of real-world references to, Xbox and PlayStation and Wii and things like that. So while it was kind of generic in the gameplay area, it did feature some funny dialogue and was just a little more interesting to play. Similarly, Holy Sorcery Story does pride itself on having that silly kind of funny, quirky kind of story to it. It starts out normally enough. You play as Pupuru, a girl who has been expelled from the Magic Academy and is now on a world tour of a whole bunch of dungeons, which so far is pretty standard. However, on her dungeon travels, she is accompanied by her magic book of curry recipes, and it's somewhere along the line she decides that she needs to go and gather a whole bunch of magic curry ingredients to help save her local curry restaurant. So, it's got the normal dungeon kind of thing, and then it's got the curry side of things. To be completely honest, Hyperdimension Neptunia never managed to pull me in properly. I had a lot of fun with it and I thought the story was great, but the gameplay was just so bland, and while it did have some interesting aspects, it wasn't quite enough to keep me interested for too long. But this game does sound pretty interesting, and we always need new, better PlayStation Vita games, so if I do finally get a Vita by the time this comes out, I might go ahead and pick it up and give it a go. If you're a fan of curry and PlayStation Vita RPGs, it might be worth keeping an eye out for Holy Sorcery Story yourself. And finally for today, fans of Borderlands 2 may be upset that the seemingly final piece of DLC, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, has been released, meaning that the story-based DLC for the game has come to an end. However, don't be too alarmed because Randy Pitchford, the head of Gearbox Software, has announced in an interview that while this does mark the 4th piece of story-based DLC to be released, and while the Season Pass did allow players access to the 4 story-based DLCs, and while the first Borderlands only had the 4 DLCs, this does not mark the end of new DLCs being released for Borderlands 2. He explained that they do have plans to release future updates for the game, but at this point have no more specific details. He also announced that the studio is working on a brand new IP which will be debuting on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm looking forward to finding out more about this new IP, because while Gearbox definitely have some flops behind them like Duke Nukem Forever and Aliens Colonial Marines, they've also got the wonderfully successful and really fun Borderlands series, so I'm not too alarmed and I hope they'll pull out something awesome for us. And that is all the news that I have to share with you guys today, so thank you as always so much for watching. Please remember you can like me and follow me and subscribe to me or whatever on Twitter, Facebook and Tumblr. The links can be found in the description below. Please remember as well you can subscribe to my channel for more gaming news and videos. I am making an attempt to update more often, so fingers crossed that actually starts. So go ahead and click the subscribe button wherever it is if you'd like to be notified about new videos. But otherwise, thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for more gaming videos. Bye!